Hello everyone and welcome back to the Blackfoot Book Club and another edition from my essential film reviews collection. And here I bring you 2015's The Walk, directed by Robert Zemeckis. I commenced my recent review of Robert Zemeckis' latest creation Pinocchio by positing the notion that I never feel as though I should be a core demographic for his films, and yet, for a lifetime, I have been. This year's Pinocchio was Zemeckis' 22nd feature-length film he's directed in a career stretching back to 1978, and considering I adore his Back to the Future trilogy, Forrest Gump, Castaway and The Polar Express to obsessive levels of love, as well as liking Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Romancing the Stone from his earlier career, and loving A Christmas Carol, Allied and Welcome to Marwen in more recent cinematic years, I'm clearly both a fan as well as being a part of his core demographic audience all along. In 2015, The Walk was Zemeckis' 18th directorial outing to date, and of his now 22 directed films all time at the time of writing, I'd seen 14, and so, with this real-life gem missing from my collection, I made it number 15. By sheer coincidence, and a further spark from my curiosity, came in the form of the highly recommended documentary film from 2008 entitled Man on Wire, directed by James Marsh, which I fortuitously stumbled upon one evening, and after enjoying it so, I immediately tracked down the Zemeckis-inspired cinematic dramatisation of an incredible story that has endured throughout my entire lifetime, and which has had an eerie and sombre backdrop now for over 2 decades. Philippe Petit, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Self-confessed troubadour, street performer and wire walker, Philippe Petit was just 25 years of age when on the 7th of August 1974 he and his crew of conspirators staged a breathtaking public spectacle as well as their own self-titled and meticulously planned coup by rigging a high wire between the recently completed Twin Towers of New York during the night and ahead of the Frenchman's grand performance at around 7 AM the following morning. Gordon-Levitt narrates the film of the life he brilliantly interprets on screen from beside the flame atop of the New York's Statue of Liberty, and he paints a life of a typically expressive, argumentative and verbose young French artist who manages to find a zen and peaceful tranquility when performing on a high wire, even if it's between the tallest of iconic buildings towering into the sky. For me to walk on the wire is life, and after completing similar walks between the towers of Notre Dame Cathedral and the Sydney Harbour Bridge in Australia, the young Frenchman falls in love with his next dream, to walk on a wire between the two newly completed and finished Twin Towers of New York City. Annie, Charlotte Lebron, is both Philippe's first accomplice as well as the love of his young life, and together with a varying cast of co-conspirators, Jean-Louis, Clement Sibony, Jean-Pierre, James Badge Dale, Jeff, Cesar Domboy, Albert, Ben Schwartz, David, Benedict Samuel, and Barry, Steve Valentine, all help and indeed hinder Philippe's burning ambition and dream before, just after 7 AM on that famous August morning of 1974, he stepped upon the wire that gave him such life, as opposed to the certain death he admits never entering his thinking. As is so well captured both in the documentary and Zemeckis' dramatised version here, Philippe Petit doesn't cross the wire between the two iconic buildings once, or even twice, but are reported 8 times as a growing crowd of commuters stop and stare at the spectacle in the early morning sky, and to the bemusement of local police trying desperately to coax and coerce the artist from where he feels most alive. With Ben Kingsley providing a full and important cameo as arguably Philippe's mentor as well as circus owner and artiste Papa Rudy, Joseph Gordon-Levitt excels in the obvious central role that is sprinkled in the movie magic of Robert Zemeckis. The death-defying walk is excellently shot and presented, as is the walk between the towers of Notre Dame, but again, with the addition of the documentary, I had a fuller appreciation of the arduous nature and subterfuge leading up to merely preparing and rigging the wire alone, let alone the incredible spectacle provided. The film has a feeling of a heist movie and not simply a death-defying stunt high in the clouds of New York City. The beginning of the film is a treat, shown entirely in black and white. Philippe is seen as the street performer he truly is, with the only colour being the policeman chasing him or the changing colours of a streetlight, his red piece of string and a red and white hard-boiled sweet that would lead inadvertently to his dream, worldwide notoriety, and a piece of history set against the horrors of another type of history in September 2001. Based on Philippe's best-selling book To Reach the Clouds, Zemeckis' visualisation and dramatisation has a dreamlike quality to it, as well as an established storytelling showmanship that matches the verve and vitality of the artiste and his incredible story. The Walk has the vertigo-inducing aspects of this year's horror Fall, directed by Scott Mann, but equally complementary is the parallel I draw with Steven Spielberg's 2002 real-life tale Catch Me If You Can. Where Spielberg drew upon the music of John Williams, as per usual, for his real-life caper, Zemeckis collaborated with Alan Silvestri for a gently bubbling score that surrounded the wonderful cinematography of Dariusz Wolski, and when combined with Gordon Levitt's charming central performance, this ensured a very fine film indeed, and dare I say, a typically Robert Zemeckis film. A hearty endorsement for both the dramatic film and documentary alike. And that was The Walk, directed by Robert Zemeckis, brought to you by Stephen Blackford, reader and writer of pointless yet spoiler-free film reviews since 2012. And I'll leave you in peace and in solidarity. And thank you so much for watching. Peace everyone.